Everybody, it's your boy Wildest Dreams coming back to you with the next movie review on the list. Spider-Man Far From Home, the Marvel's follow-up to the smash hit The Avengers Endgame that came to theaters a couple of months ago. And this movie, Spider-Man Far From Home, is actually the conclusion of Phase 3 of the Marvel films. So this is actually the final movie for the Phase 3. And after that, it's going into Phase 4. If you're not really familiar with the different phases, it's not really important. It's just, think of phases as chapters in the book. So this is completing this chapter of this Marvel series of movies. It's the same as Spider-Man Homecoming. The same cast returns. Tom Holland comes back as Spider-Man himself, Peter Parker. You still have Zendaya coming back as MJ. Samuel Jackson's also in this movie, Nick Fury, and Jake Gyllenhaal is the big newcomer playing Mysterio. The movie basically takes place about 8 months after Endgame. Life is starting to find a little bit of normalcy for everybody. Everybody's kind of getting their footing after. In this movie, they call the snap the blip. They refer to it as the blip. So half of the world was going in the blip, and everybody's just trying to, come to terms with that. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like they were gone for like 5 years, but in their mind, they were only gone a few minutes. Spider-Man is clearly still shaken and taken aback by the loss of Tony Stark, who was the father figure in his life. Because he never had one prior to him, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't really go down the Uncle Ben storyline, so we don't know if he had an Uncle Ben prior to Tony. But regardless, Tony Stark was that strong, positive figure in his life, and he's now gone. Because if you think about it, from Spider-Man's perspective, he died in Tony Stark's arms, and then 2 minutes later, he came back and watched Tony Stark die. That's how it played out from his point of view. You know, he was snapped for 5 years. It felt like a few minutes. So he died in his arms, came back and watched his hero die, basically. So yeah, he's going through it in the movie. But nonetheless, Peter Parker just wants to have a regular summer. Not a summer, but like a regular trip without being Spider-Man. His school is taking this trip over to Europe, and he does not want to be Spider-Man over there. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in New York. You know, but like obviously from the trailers that you see, some special beings called elementals have a different set of plans for him. You know what I'm saying? And Peter had to take them on. Him with the help of a new mysterious guy, no pun intended, named Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. And then I pretty much stopped the synopsis there. My initial thought on this movie is good, y'all. It's good. Like, the first half of the movie is good, but when it gets to the second and the third act of this film, it transcends and becomes something great. For the longest, I've said Spider-Man 2, the one with Tobey Maguire when he fought Doc Ock, I said for the longest, to me, that was the best in the quintessential Spider-Man movie. This surpassed that. Like, it's not a perfect movie by any chance. Not at all. I say this in every single video when I talk to y'all. It's not a perfect movie. There's no such thing as a perfect movie. If you want to nitpick certain things, you can definitely nitpick certain things, especially myself. I tend to think a lot when I'm watching movies, so my analytical brain is dissecting stuff and plot holes, and this don't make sense because of this. But once I caught myself doing it and I pulled myself back in, it was like, just enjoy the movie. Like, I was lost on the screen. Like, it's the perfect blend of like a high school teen comedy, love drama, you know what I'm saying? But then you mix in some of the superhero elements and the big action set pieces, and seeing Mysterio being brought to film, to the big screen, that I never would have thought I would have seen. I remember sitting at home watching Spider-Man early mornings on TV, the cartoon, and Mysterio was always one of my favorite villains because of his illusions and everything. And it was no better way than to how they brought him into this movie. It's to see his powers. Some of the scenes he has are so mesmerizing. Like, it's two scenes in particular where my mouth is open and I'm just staring at the screen and I'm looking around at everybody and they have the same reaction, like, yo, this is amazing. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, when he gets to use his powers and be who he is, you know what I'm saying, the master of illusion, hats off to Marvel, hats off to John Watts, the guy who directed it. John Watts did Homecoming as well, which is also another very good movie. He's showing a pretty good talent that he has of bringing good villains to this movie, because Vulture was a pretty good villain in Homecoming. Everybody else's performance was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Except for Tom Holland. He wasn't pretty good. That man was great. Like, one of my favorite scenes in the movie wasn't an action scene or nothing. It was a pure dialogue scene between Tom Holland's character, Peter Parker, and Jon Favreau's character, Happy Hogan. You know, Tony Stark's pretty much right-hand man. But now that's in his absence, he's taking Peter underneath his wing. And they have a dialogue scene on a plane that was so engaging and intense. It was one of my favorite scenes in a blockbuster movie. Like, two people talking had me more mind blown and more sucked into the screen than the action set pieces. But this movie does not lack those action set pieces. They're all throughout the movie. Again, second and third act is amazing in this movie. Like, from the moment when Mysterio gets introduced, the movie it's like an airplane. It just takes off from the runway and it just keeps ascending. It keeps ascending till it ends at this crescendo that's just like, yo, this is a goddamn good movie, yo. Like, this is one of Marvel's best solo movies. It's one of their best solo movies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and pretty much by solo, I'm talking about just that character, no team up. And honestly, the Spider-Man franchise is shaping up to be one of the better trilogies of Marvel. Right up, because right now I think the best trilogy still goes to Captain America, based solely off of the strength of Winter Soldier and Civil War. First one was kind of boring to me, but those last two were so goddamn strong, it kind of just tips the scale. But Spider-Man has a track record right now that's closing in on that's probably the best trilogy in this Marvel Cinematic Universe thus far. Any complaints? Again, like I said earlier in the video, there are a couple of times where if you want to nitpick some stuff, you can do it. And I'm pretty certain you're going to do it, especially if you think at least 2% of the movie like I do. Like, you're going to find something like, that don't make sense. That don't gel together. But it's enough to just kind of overlook it and just enjoy the time. I've been thinking about this for a while. It's my second movie in, and I believe that I have enough to say it now. By herself, I do not like Zendaya's interpretation of MJ. I don't like it. I don't like this take that she does with her of just this awkward, rambunctious, rebellious MJ. It doesn't fit the character, and it doesn't fit the aesthetic of the movie almost. I kind of get what she was trying to go with it, but this is the second movie, and I kind of sat back, because the first one, I was like, maybe she'll evolve in the next one, but it's more of the same in this one. I'm not a fan of her interpretation of MJ. Now, together with Peter, they are able to capture that awkward teenage just finding out about love and, oh, what are these butterflies in my stomach kind of feeling? You know what I'm saying? Together they work, but by herself as a standalone character, I do not like her. So I mean, well, I'm not gonna say I don't like her. I don't like the interpretation of her character. It was a couple of characters in this movie. One in particular out of the two, I really didn't care for. And I kind of kept asking myself every time he was on screen, like, why are you in this movie? Like, I know you happy because this is the biggest break in your career. But why are you in this movie? Like, you're not funny. You're trying too hard. Like, your character serves no purpose for what you're even doing right now. If you've seen the movie already, you could probably understand or dissect my words enough to know who I may be talking about. But yeah, like that guy, he just didn't belong there. This movie does have 2 post-credit scenes. It has a mid-credit and a post-credit. So halfway through the credits and then at the very end of the credits, stay for both of them because they both, unlike Marvel's history, both of these scenes carry weight. The first one had the biggest response of everybody because there was some unexpected stuff that was shown there. And I'm going to leave it at that if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, I'm pretty certain you fanboy or fangirled out like I did when you saw it. Like, oh, crap. But the second one was kind of like a, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like that one, the second post-credit scene, I believe, it just opened the door for more of what Marvel can do going forward with its universe. And it was just like, oh, the first one was like pure fandom. The second post scene was like, we can do a lot more. This is just a taste of what we can do with our characters. So both credit scenes are worth it. So sit through both of them. Grading this movie, man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give this movie a smooth. I'm gonna give it a good 4.1, 4.2 out of 5 wildings, man. Like, this movie is good, man. Like, when I saw it by myself. My wife hadn't seen it yet, so actually we going in a few hours to go see it. Me for the second time, her for the first time. And that movie was so goddamn good. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm like, yo, like, it felt like I haven't even seen it yet. So I'm definitely anxious to go catch this movie again. If y'all seen the movie, man, in a non-spoiler way, let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought of. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what was your thoughts about it? What was your gripes about it? Did you like it? Did you, like, you know what I'm saying? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just let me know. Drop a comment down below. Again, I always ask, like, subscribe, share. I gotta say, the next movie review I probably be having put out is I do see Lion King coming out in a couple of weeks, so I got that coming down the pipe. Yeah, I see that coming for us in our near future. Also Toy Story 4. I know it's been a few weeks, but I think y'all should hear what I got to say about that as well. Again, thank y'all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Thank each and every one of you. I'm out. Peace.